Team building. Hanging off the side of a building. I'll never be part of the team. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 12, episode 10. Listen, like I said, if I have to be part of a team building experience that requires me to hang off the side of a building, I will be a loner. Do you understand? there was this whole thing about, listen, we're going to talk about it. They're over in Toronto, Canada, for Carnival, and yeah, we're going to talk about it. I won't be part of the team. Anyway, so listen, Nene's here. So Nene gets here, and she had to do some catching up. They had to catch her up. Because remember, she didn't come to the engagement. Well, it wasn't an engagement party, but it turned out to be an engagement party for Cynthia. And they were actually speaking about it. Nene didn't even know what they were talking about. And the whole thing about, she walked right in on the whole, did Kenya ruin the surprise and all of that. So it was what it was. It's basically like water under the bridge. It just is what it is. Nene was getting caught up. They had went out and did what they were going to do that night, and then they came back. They came back, and they're all down in, well, not all of them, but Candy, Marlo, Yvonne, and Nene were down in Nene's room. And that Nene, oh my gosh. Nene loves to have a friend close that's like a lapdog. And she just gives them shit, and she just doesn't treat them good. You know, it used to be Cynthia. And then it's Marlo at times. You know, she always puts, her friendships are like this. Kim, you know, with Kim. And then when Kim got there, then they couldn't be friends no more. Marlo, stay that way. Cynthia, now they can't be friends no more. Her and Candy, you know what I mean? But that's her. To be Nene's friend, it got to be, the table got to be like this, or she can't really mess with you. Her and Sheree, see, Sheree won't allow her to leave her like this, even though it really is like this. Sheree's like, girl, I'm going to stand on the platform, so I'm looking over at you like this. You're not going to do it. That's why they can't never stay friends. But that's just Nene. That's a Neneism. You got to be, it's got to be like this. That's got to be the ratio, or you can't be friends. And she was treating, she gonna tell, listen, she tells Yvonne, because there was a knock at the door, girl, go get the door. And called her the butler. I said, not the butler. Sent her to get the door. Then when Yvonne come back to sit down, did y'all catch it? When she said, girl, I done told you, leave the blonde to me. I was like, who does that? Who just throws unnecessary, nasty little jabs? Did y'all even catch that? That she said that to Yvonne? I was like, really? Now, Nene, we're not going to talk about hair because you put on some blonde hair. Girl, you done made some bad blonde choices back in the day. So I don't know that leaving the blonde to you, because you're not no hair maven. Like you be breaking up the hair thing. Like, are you serious? Stop it. Just rude. Anyway, so they went around and around and around, and she never would tell who it was that actually did the recording. So we still don't know who the so-called snake is. And that just went on and on and on. A mess. The next day, they go for a costume fitting. Tanya's doing a wonderful job of putting their trip together. It's been like nonstop fun, you know, no whole lot of drama or nothing like that. She's really interesting things together for them, and they're being treated really, really well. She had a friend she contacted, and the girl came, and she had these handmade costumes. Costumes were gorgeous, just stones, and you know that's all right up my alley. That's my wheelhouse, honey. These costumes, they look so good, such nice fabric, and I was like, okay, cool. Oh, Yvonne, girl, you just don't fit in. Just a tackhead. You're a tackhead. So you're there for Carnival. You already know that y'all gonna be wearing some scantily clad things. Why you come there not shaved? And then you had the nerve you gonna try on the bikini stuff anyway. I hope you was able to fit the first one and not be the one putting your hairy bush into some just nasty. But then we had to have that whole conversation because when she said she wasn't shaved and she needed to get some nair, I was like, well, she won't try nothing on. She'll just wait. She won't try nothing on. She won't try it on anyway. I don't know. That's why you get called the butler. Anyway, moving on. During all of that, Nene asked Eva, could she speak to her for a minute? And she actually apologized. Could you believe it? She actually apologized for what she did because she was wrong. She was wrong. There was no ifs, ands, and no buts about it. She told Eva agreed to talk to Nene off of camera. Why would you leave yourself mic'd up? Because you shady. You shady. But she apologized and they agreed to move on. And Eva's like, yeah, with my eyes wide open, honey. Wide open. Said, you better. You better. And then Nene also said that she didn't even bother with the costume because she wasn't going to be there. She actually is leaving in the morning. I was like, so why'd you come? Make an appearance, I guess. And she's so important, Miss Nene. But she had a show, so we'll let her go. She had a show. Anyway, so that was that. Then they went to this whole thing after that with this hanging off the building stuff. Child, listen, when I was in Vegas, a couple of the friends wanted to do that whole thing of whichever that hotel is where they hang off. I think it's Stratosphere. Child, listen, I'm not going up there. I'm not hanging off no building. I'll be down here. If you happen to end up coming down that way instead of on the elevator, I'll see you when you hit the ground because I'll be on the ground. I ain't getting ready to do none of that at all. Not that big of a team player. Sorry. Anyway, while all that was going on, Eva and Nene were having some conversation. Child, that Nene was shading the hell out of Portia. Calling her, they've had a little Twitter battle, and she called her, Twitter and Instagram, called her fat, and still about standing beside that she's fat. I'm like, nobody on here is fat. Like, are you kidding? Stop it. Shading the hell out of Kenya. And then she does kind of want to make up with Cynthia, but not yet. I said, oh, so I'm laughing because I know Eva was sitting there and her wheels were spinning like, yeah, this is exactly why, honey, I'm keeping my distance. I ain't really messing with you all like that, honey. You cool, we all right, but Later on that day, Tanya's in her room, and I was laughing at Tanya because Tanya looked up. Here come Paul, and this is the first time I actually paid Paul any attention. Paul's kind of cute. Paul shows up, and who's with him? Dennis. Dennis is behind him. I laughed because at the same time they're showing up, we see Portia talking to Lauren on the phone, and Lauren was basically fussing at Portia at how much she's been keep in contact with Dennis and how much time they've been spending together. And, she's like, seems like you're falling back in quickly. She is. But the part that was funny to me is that Tanya was so excited because she was expecting Paul, but she wasn't expecting Dennis. And Paul come through the door, baby. She seen him, honey. She jumped up on him, honey. I said, wait a minute. Tanya ready to give Paul a little something. And then when she looks around there, Dennis said, I said, you almost embarrassed yourself, didn't you, girl? You was ready to do a little something freaky at it. And look back there and see Dennis. I cracked up laughing. She fell down on the ground. I said her little face gonna turn red. It was funny though. But yeah, so Dennis, she was saying, she's always been, behind it. Like she wants it to work because Dennis and Paul are good friends. And she said, that's how me and Portia got to be so close because our men are friends. So, they're trying to help Dennis to get Portia back. He came and he got a new ring and all of that. I said, oh, here we go. So that's cool. So later that evening, they are on their way going to there's a party that Tanya set up. This really nice party with all her family and friends, and then the girls had like a VIP section. Everybody's dressed up all nice and everything. And on the way there, they were doing funny impersonations of each other. It was hilarious. And the best part that nobody got mad. Like nobody got an attitude, but they were imitating each other. It was hilarious. And then they brought up that whole Nair situation again. I was like, oh, they don't stop talking about that Nair for that nasty Yvonne. Anyway, but they were doing that. And then during the party, you got the Shade crew. Kenya, Candy, and Portia. They decide to set their sights on Yvonne because they think that Yvonne, well, they know that Yvonne is either the person that did the recordings or she knows who the person is. And she said that she basically knows. Listen, they got her and they was trying to get her drunk, honey, and they was all surrounded around her. And she was just going on and she just played them to the left, honey. They were like, she's got to be the snake. And they're like, because she just, I don't know. Portia was like, we answered the same question a bunch of different ways, and she just kept answering, the same and all of that. It's like, oh, man, we just don't trust her. And y'all shouldn't. They could not get anything out of Yvonne at all. Nene has her trained. Just like a little Sharpay, honey. She's trained. And right as we get through all of that stuff, and then the girls go back up to the VIP, and that's when Tanya starts doing her little speech, and she's thanking everybody for coming and talking about true love and this, that, thing, and the other. And the next thing you know, here comes Dennis easing up through the crowd and goes and get down on one knee, and then it went into to be continued. So that was it. This was really more of a filler episode. Not a whole lot went on, but cute enough. It was cute enough. It really was. So that's where it ended out. To be continued. He's on his knee. We're going to see what Portia going to do, as if we don't know, child. That man, he just sent flowers to her and everything the first day they got there. Child, she ready to go on back to Dennis. She tired of crying. Tired of crying.